Hi everybody, my name is Jim. Welcome to the Lake Effect Gardener. And today I'm in the greenhouse. And although it's quite sunny outside, it is still rather cold, but it's nice and snug in here. So come join me for a little catch up and a little bit of a cleanup here at the Lake Effect Gardener. So this greenhouse I purchased about 5 years ago, and I bought it through Harbor Freight Company, and they had their super coupons that they do. So I got a substantial amount of money off of this greenhouse. It didn't cost an arm and a leg, which is right up my alley when it comes to budgeting. Their choices were a 6 by 8 foot greenhouse, and then the next size up was 10 to 12, and that would have been way too big. I also read a lot of reviews about the 10 by 12 having a lot of issues, especially when it came to snow. So I knew I wanted to have something that was going to be smaller and a little bit more manageable. Granted, having a 10 by 12 would have been lovely, but since I now will have 2.0 polytunnel, I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about space. But anyways, yeah, it's a bit of a trash heap in here right now. I've got a lot of stuff that I kind of threw in here. So I've got like tote lids, and I was cleaning through my garage and I got a couple of things in there. Threw them in here. I mean, a random hardware, things like that. So I'm just gonna, I'm gonna do a little chat and just show you what I have in here. Everything, the staging in here, I either had on hand or I built with lumber that I had left over. So again, it was going to be the staging that I had in here, I did not have to pay a single dime for, which was beautiful. So, I've got lots of trays in here, and all of these trays and all of these cells that I have in here are from plants that I had purchased along the way. And I really haven't gone about buying plants en masse in quite some time, but I've managed to hang on to all of these. I mean, this is the tip of the iceberg. It really is. So so this, I feel, is really the halfway station now between inside the house and into the polytunnel. This is a heated greenhouse. That is, I don't have gas in here. I don't have anything in the way of, using propane or even, oil lamps and stuff like that. I actually will heat this using electricity. I've got a line running from the garage into this room, and I have this handy dandy oil heater here, and you can either set it on 600 watts or 900 watts, or both of them on at the same time as a total of 1500 watts. So as the sun begins to dip below the horizon like it is right now, I have this on, and it really, really cranks the heat. I've got here my little thermostat here. It's showing me that it's 61 degrees, which is balmy. It is very balmy, it's a nice change. All the snow has finally melted off the top of it, so the sun is coming in nicely, and this is south facing, so it really gets a great deal of sunshine until it dips below the garage. So yeah, so I have a lot of junk in here, and I'm just going to do a quick cleanup, make some room here, and get it ready for those darling little seedlings, which, by the way, let's just take a moment. I want to give you a quick update on those. Look at all my adorable little seedlings popping up. there's more every day. So the first ones to pop up were the eggplant, and those are these 3 rows, I guess you'd say, all the way back. And then my chilies have started to pop as well. The ones that haven't right now are those, oh, I can't even remember the name of them, the something Bajío or whatever. Those haven't popped up yet, but I do have a couple of the big Jim. They're looking very small Jims right now. And a lot of my sweet peppers have popped up as well. My onions and leeks are just doing lovely. Such a pleasant sight indeed. And my yarrow hasn't really done anything yet, but that takes time. Like I said, the germination on those are touch and go at best. So yay, seedlings. I like having these plastic totes on hand. I just said plastic. That's how we speak here in Buffalo. I didn't mean to do that. Plastic totes. We have these plastic totes. I have these plastic totes. And I like to keep seedlings, really, really tender seedlings inside these plastic totes. And what I'll do is I will, somewhere in this mess, I'll have the top of this. But what I'll do is I'll put the seedlings in, and then I'll close it on top like this, so that we've got this bit of a, propagator thing happening. But for now, what I'm going to be doing with this is I'm just going to take all of the cells and the pots that I have that still have soil, okay, and I'm just going to dump them in here. And then all of the soil that's in here, oh, it won't come out. There we go. All the soil that ends up in here, all the old compost that I have left over, I'll just throw it on the compost heap, and then I'll mix it in once everything decides to melt. And then what I'll do is, well, I suppose this is as good as a container as any. Any of the leftover plant labels, I'm going to put in their own separate container, because I do reuse these several times if need be. If I need more and I'm running low, I cut them in half and I can label either side of them. So you can get a lot of use out of those plant labels. So I'm going to get on with that now, okay? And we'll do it in fast forward, because otherwise it's going to be very boring. Another thing that I have in abundance, and if you watched my last video, you'll know, takeout containers or takeaway containers. And these literally are my seed trays, and they are as durable as all get out. They really are. I reuse these over and over and over again. They aren't terribly deep, but honestly, as soon as, like I said, they start forming their first true leaves, I get them out of them. So, they serve their purpose. And of course, when I see how many I have, I realize how much food I've eaten out. So they can look like this, they can look like this. These are the ones that, so these are like romaine lettuce, stuff like that. Off season, of course. I never buy lettuce during the growing season. But yeah, there's just a whole mixture of things here. I don't throw anything away, and this greenhouse is surely evident of that. Interesting today, I was at school and there was a water main break. And it wasn't even close, it was kind of far away, but it did affect the school and we had to evacuate, which came as quite a shock to a lot of us. But everything worked out well. The kids got all picked up from school, and they're all safe and sound. And I did get home a little bit earlier, whoops, than I was anticipating getting home. Where'd that go? So I thought, perfect opportunity to do some filming. I mean, it's like I said, I don't throw anything away. I think I may have had most of these for at least 5 years, and I just keep reusing them over and over again. It's good stuff. So how many of you out there have a greenhouse or any kind of grow house? Let me know. Put it in the comments box below. I would love to hear about your greenhouse. I would love to have one of those super posh glass ones, you know, that have like the beautiful like ridge line with all the decoration and stuff like that. That's a big goal of mine. Someday, won't be here. It will probably be in my forever home, whenever that will happen. Yeah, so I hope I'm not making too much of a racket. I really think that this was a great investment for me to make. Honestly, if you've been following what's been going on here, the pictures I've been posting on Facebook, etc., this has really been, I can't even say a bad winter. This has really been a typical winter. And we haven't had a typical winter here in Buffalo in a number of years, so I can't very well complain. It's one of those situations where if you live here, it's like you kind of sign up for it. You know what I mean? And I've lived in this area for over 40 years. I should be used to it. That doesn't mean that I would rather have summer over winter, though. Oh my goodness. Lots of pots. I'm not going to go ahead and I'm not going to do a, I'm not going to wipe everything down. I can do that a separate time, but I'm not going to do it right now. I kind of just want to make sure what I've got. Ooh, take a look at this one. I can do 2 different, oh great. I can do, come on. I can do 2 different varieties in here. Look at that, and it's got a hinged lid. They're very handy, they really, really are. Anyways, I just kind of want to assess what I've got going on in here. I do have a lot more takeout containers in my shed, and I have a lot more of these smaller pots and things in my shed as well. So I'm definitely not aching for vessels. Now, here's the top of that tote that I showed you. So I'll put the plants, let me just give you an example here. Okay, so I'll put the pots in like this, and then I will put the actual tote over top of them, and it's almost like its own little mini greenhouse. And you can even, the way that this is designed, you can even water the bottom of them and kind of forget about them. It's really, really nice. It's almost like it turns it into a terrarium. Very handy. Other things, okay, now say I've got a tote that doesn't have a lid on it, okay, and I will use this tote as just an example, even though it's chock full. What I do have are these panes of glass, okay, and these are from old windows, or, yeah, well, they are old windows, or I'll pick them up if they're on the roadside or whatever. These can go over a tote and kind of create that greenhouse effect as well. Honestly, the biggest reason why I keep everything extremely undercover in here as long as I possibly can is because I have an issue which I'm hoping to remediate this spring. Do you see these? My whole not my backyard, but behind my house, next door, all of those places, is a grove of hickory trees, shagbark hickory. And when I see these inside here or inside my garage or, heaven forbid, inside my shed, that means I have critters, okay? And hickory nutshells are synonymous with the Lake Effect Cottage, this neighborhood in general. In fact, it had gotten so bad one year, I think it was during our November 2014, we had a horrible, horrible event, snow event. And pardon me as I bend over. It was so bad. I had 6 feet of snow here. And that, my friends, is not hyperbole, okay? Literally 6 feet of snow. They named, you can Google it if you want to, they named the event Snowvember. So it was right before Thanksgiving. We had this huge, huge snowfall, and it was just insane, absolutely insane. Okay, so anyways, so I had my car parked in the garage. This was my old car, not the one that I have now. And it happened after this because I remember thinking to myself, this has never happened before, but I'm guessing because we had such a cold, snowy event super fast, that these critters needed a place to go and they needed a place to kind of hang out, whatever. They got these little hickory nut shells, I don't know how, but up inside the hood or the bonnet of my car. So every time I'd open the hood to like change the wiper fluid or whatever, I'd open the hood and you hear, it was all of these little nutshells tumbling their way down to the other side. Hickory nuts. Unbelievable. And if you watched my potato harvest last year, I think I came across a hickory nut in there too. So, anyways, okay, I'm going to get the rest of this cleaned up as best as I can, and then I'll show you what it looks like and have a little chat. One thing I wanted to add before I, go into my spiel about the greenhouse being clean. This electric heater does have a line that runs into the garage, not the kitchen, the garage. But what I have it hooked up to, and I want to show you here, I'll have to unplug it to show you. I bought one of these gadgets here, and it's a timer. It's an outdoor timer. What I really loved about this particular one is it has the photocell on it, which means that if you turn it on to dawn dusk, okay, these photocells are going to see when the sun sets, and as soon as it gets really dark out, then this automatically will kick on. All right, it will kick on. The greenhouse will get heated in the coldest part of the day, which is at night, and then when the sun rises and starts to come up, the photocell will catch it and it'll automatically turn this off. So it's great. I don't really have to babysit it. And sometimes, depending on what the temperature is outside, like I probably, if I had plants in here, I would leave it on all the time. But as we get into April and, early May, the photocell works amazingly. Dawn to dusk. It's a wonderful thing. All right, I have everything cleaned off. I should say cleaned up, not cleaned off. I will come in here later on, probably in the next couple of weeks, and give it everything a good wipe down in here and just clean all the surfaces to make sure that they're nice and pretty. I have to say, I have a problem with hoarding plastic plant containers I see. I mean, that's ridiculous. It really is. I mean, the good thing, I suppose, is that it's not ending up in a landfill. I keep reusing them and reusing them and reusing them, but seriously, like, I don't have that big of a garden to even accommodate the amount of cells of plants that if I were to plant all those in. I don't think this would fit in both my greenhouse and my polytunnel if they were all in use. So I guess I'll wait if I'll see if anybody else needs any, and I'll be gladly happy to share whatever I have. So anyways, the sun is about to go down in about an hour. It is getting a little bit cold in here, although it does say a glorious 66 degrees. I do have the camera outside of the door, so I am getting a bit of a chilly nose and my fingers are a little bit cold. But this is it. It's pretty much ready to go. I'll give it a clean, and then the next step is really to put some plants in here, which that's an exciting next step. It really is. So anyways, that's it for me. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys have started seeds, and if you haven't, get your rears in gear, okay? Get those seeds planted, especially the ones that need to, they need 8 to 10 weeks before the last frost. Get those in the ground, definitely. If you have a greenhouse or a space like this, get in there, get it cleaned up and ready to, accept all of your precious cargo. I will be back soon. Not sure what's there's some really exciting stuff coming on, but I dare not say what it is. It will be rolled out very soon. And I do have to say that I said this in my little Facebook exclusive, that I did manage to get myself a brand new laptop. Hallelujah. What normally took me 4 to 5 hours to do takes about 45 minutes to do now. So honestly, part of filming that I loathed the most was having to sit down and edit and then try to upload everything. It was a disaster. I would have to do it. I did it all from my phone. And I'd have to, if my phone was too full, I'd have to send it to iCloud, and then I'd have to download it, and then I'd have to load it up, and then sometimes it didn't work, and sometimes the program didn't open. Now I can just plug my camera right into my laptop, and off it goes. So hopefully that means that you will be seeing a lot more of me. I will definitely try to squeeze out as many as I possibly can. In the meantime, take care of yourselves, get out there, do what you can for all my Buffalo friends and people in the Northeast. I don't want to tell you to wait outside and watch the snow melt, but I think it's going to happen pretty fast. The weather's warming up. We're going to have some weather in the 40s, mid to upper 40s. We're going to have rain. That's going to take care of all of this white stuff. And frankly, peace out. Bye. We're done with you. So I will be back soon, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing. Press the like button, the notification bell, all that great stuff. We would love to have you as part of the family. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a wonderful night. So long.